Alright, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good one. Today we are tying a beetle. Now, I have done one of these in the past, but today I kind of wanted to bring to attention the new, well, semi-new, Semperfli Realistic Foam Bodies. These are really cool. They've sort of laser cut them, so you've got the shape all ready to go. Makes tying them really easy, as we're a couple of weeks into summer, and the fish here are going to be starting to look up a whole lot more. Feels a good time to do one and show you how these bodies work. For the bottom, or underneath it, underbody, I guess you'd say, I've got some gel cool micro frets. Also really enjoy using peacock, but I've done a bunch of them, so I wanted some with lighter underbelly, so I really like having beetles with that contrast on their bodies. Then we've got that realistic foam beetle body. A little bit of comb foam is what Semperfli call it, and orange is a little cider spot, and some brown legs. Really simple, but a handy one to have. We'll hold off a dropper underneath it, and when you're fishing along, like some banks and stuff, or there's been beetles around, it's a great one to have. Personally, one of my favourite rivers east of Wellington's a little lowland farm kind of stream, and it's got a lot of high grass banks, and there's a lot of different kind of critters that fall off, and this just kind of gives it that buggy look. May not necessarily be beetles falling in, but the fish are looking out, they see something big, I want a bit of that. Anyway, we'll crack into it. I hope you enjoy it. Happy tying. Right, for the hook today we're using a TMCO TMC 101. I quite like them. I like that straight hook eye. It does make getting your tippet through it a little bit more difficult, but you just lift the head and you can get it through there. If you want, 100 has that downward pointing eye, and that makes it just a little bit easier, but I quite like these ones. Thread wise, I'm using the Nano Silk in brown, 30 denier. It's more or less because it's what I've got spooled up. And if you're wondering, I'm using a Dr. Slick bobbin with the ceramic tip, which helps with the nano. And we're just going to make that thread base. This just gives everything a bit of a surface to bind to without slipping around the metal hook. And we're just tying that back into the start of the bend, and then we'll tie in the foam. And we'll just trim away that tag end. Alright, foam bodies, you can see they're already pre-cut. Just see my t-shirt through the cuts in them. Really easy. Pop whatever one you want up, grab it, and it will literally just pull away. Then line it up, figure out where you want it. Actually, you can see how it's cut into that shape there. Give you that nice sort of beetle body. You just work out where you want it in. So you kind of want that eye. Sorry, not the eye, the head hanging over the eye. Got a rough idea of where I want it tied in. It's pretty much cut the tie and stuff there, or tie-in point. You just want that in on top of the bend of the hook starts. Just do a couple light wraps to begin with. And then we do tighten it in. It's not going anywhere. We don't want that to be too far, so we'll just trim that out of the way. Next up we'll tie in the micro frets. Right, next up we're using the gel cool micro frets for the body. You can see how it catches the light there quite nicely. It provides a bit of contrast on the bottom of the body as well. If you look at beetles, they they'll have a darker top, and then underneath them will be a bit lighter, so I quite like that contrast. I'll use peacock herl a lot for them as well, even though it's still quite a dark body with these black foam bodies. I like the way it catches the light and adds some iridescence to the pattern. For example, I think, let's get it out there, another colour you can get is, I got it in this sort of tan colour. I'm using the 17mm bodies at the moment as well. I forgot to mention at the start, but they've got them all through a whole bunch of sizes. From here, we're just going to wrap this around the shank and build up a body. You could use the thread to build a taper in it, make it a bit chunkier, but I quite like just using micro frits, and I'll go back on itself a bit. If I'm doing a peacock body, I'll often use something to make some ribbing, because it's a bit more easy for the you know, if you're having a good day and the fish are having a chomp, then you know, you've got that risk of it breaking and getting a bit mucky. But with this being the synthetic chenille, it's a bit more durable as it is. I just like to build up that body. That ought to do the trick. There we go. There's other ways you could do it, but I like that. A couple inches, you get 3 flies or something like that, and just secure it in. And trim it away. Right, next up we're going to fold the body over and tie that in. You don't have to do this, but if you want it, you can just add a little bit of glue on top of your beetle body. It just helps hold it down a bit. Not necessary, but it's just an idea if you want to make it a bit stronger. And we'll just fold that down. Just a few light wraps to begin with to get it in. I don't like to tie it in just one single spot. I do find just move it back about half an eye as well. It just gives you a bit of a thread base to tie in that foam cider point. The other thing as well is I do like them. It's a great shape and you don't have to, but food for thought, I like my beetles to have a rounder head, and these ones are a bit pointier, but I like that they are designed that way because you can keep it if you want, but a little snip like that, it just changes that profile a bit, and it's got a rounder head. I think you can see it there, and that's what it initially looked like. But next up we'll put that cider post in. Right, so the black foam on the water will be diabolical to see. Semperfli have these products called Foam Comb. They also come in a range of sizes, so I'll always share the links of the materials I use on the website, so you have a little browse. You break them off, with a little strip of foam. You don't have to faff about, cutting it all yourself. But this just sticks out on the water and makes it really easy to see. And just a few wraps around there. Don't need to do much because we're still going to tie in the legs there, which are going to add to the wraps going on. Once you've got it tied on, you could tie it longer, but generally I find it pretty easy to spot if I just cut it semi-flush to the body there. And next up we'll move on to the legs. Right, let's tie in those legs. I have no idea what this is, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what it's called. I've had them probably from my first couple of years fly tying. Amazingly, they're not disintegrated now, probably more than 10 years down the line, but saw them the other day, thought they were a good use for this, so put them on. I've got a funny feeling, I'm pretty sure I would have brought them from a fish scene here in Wellington owned by Jeff Wood. Great little fly shop, it's only online now, but worth checking out. They're just a nice thin brown leg, have heaps of movement. I'll start with the one on this side. So generally, because they want to wrap around as you tie it in, I'll put it on top and then just let it roll around, just like that. You can just line them up where you want them in the middle there. There we go. And then on the other side, just grab another one. Got a whole big lot of them. You can be fancy, you can tie it on one side and wrap it around, tap it out, and cut them in the middle and whatnot, but I kind of like doing it just the two separate sides by themselves and then trimming the legs to size. On this side you can kind of just start where you want it to be tied in. We'll just get that in there. It's just being a little bit difficult at the moment. Get that first wrap in there, and it's going to pull around towards the top. You just pull it down, you'll be able to get it into place. We'll just pull these back a bit and secure them in. There we have it. For lengthwise, I like to pull it back. Now I've tied this one a little bit forward on the hook than what I normally would, but generally I like to use the length of the body as a cue for how long to do the legs. You do those back two, pull them back, and that just gives you a guide for the front ones. Alright, popped out of focus there, but there we go. Sorry about that, but you can see how they just stick out the side. It doesn't have to be, you know, crazy perfect. They're going to sit out there and they're just going to wiggle as it drifts down the stream. Right, last but not least is the whip finish. Now you've got two options. You can go underneath the head or just go over the middle there. Both of them can be just a little bit of a faff. The legs might want to get in the way, so you've got to juggle it around a little bit. But generally, because we're going to put some glue on there or head cement, let's do 3 or 4 wraps, seem to be enough. And they should hold on from that point. And just get it tied in underneath. Trim it away. And then you can kind of see you've got a little bit of thread there underneath. We have tied in the cider post and the legs. I'll try to, this is actually facing away from me a little bit, so I'm kind of doing a little bit blind. But just get your glue and just dab it on there. And that's just going to give it a bit more durability. Alright, there we have it, the Semperfli Realistic Foam Body Beetle. A very cool pattern, very handy. They'll hold up a dropper really well. See that cool little profile there. It's just sitting on top of the water. It looks pretty yummy to the fish. Not much to them. You've got the brown nano silk, the TMC 101 hook in a size 10 in this case. We've got the 17mm black realistic foam beetle body, the orange comb foam on top there. The cinnamon coloured gel core micro frits. And beyond that, you're good to go. It's an easy pattern, and you can kind of see there's heaps of hook gape left. Hookups, really good. Beyond that, have a play with them. You can use other coloured foam. There's a few other colours available. Use different chenilles, straggle string, peacock herl, micro frits. Take your pick, have some fun, get amongst it. Hopefully it's a pattern you enjoy, and happy tying. Cheers.